the most baffling things about US grocery stores. Interested to see what we got in this, to see what's so baffling about American stores. Before we do get into this, appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button, see what we got.
Hello, this year I have been doing a lot of videos devoted to trying American food for the first time.
Okay.
This video, and something that you don't really see in those videos is the fact that we have to go and get the ingredients from a supermarket. I have two missions on this mission. Number one, to pick up some of the ingredients for Maryland crab cakes, which I'll be making in my next video.
Oh, okay. We don't call them crab cakes, but I think these are our fish cakes, and I love them. These look more battered, though. They do look more battered, more like fried than ours.
Video. And number two, to show you some of the baffling things about American grocery stores.
Okay.
And just as we pull into the parking lot at Jewel-Osco, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, do that now.
His link will be in the description.
In the meantime, let's go shopping. Well, first thing to notice is that you don't have to put any kind of coin in order to procure a shopping trolley.
Oh, you get that in a lot of places in the UK. A lot of places are now opting out of it, but you got to put a coin in and then you can have the trolley, and then when you put it back, you get the coin back.
Or cart, as they're known here. This is something you will see at Aldi, which is something that you see at Aldi around the world. But for the most part, American carts don't require it. In the UK, coin-operated trolleys are a bit more prevalent, with some supermarkets employing them and others not. Back in 2017, these trolleys made the news when many of them were incapable of accepting Britain's new 12-sided pound coin.
Okay.
You know, I was just thinking about something. When we were in Britain,
Yo, the amount of coffee. Wait, is this side all coffee as well, the left side? Mad. Yo, I would love it, bro. I'd be in heaven.
We were walking around one of the superstores out there, and I noticed these stools that I had forgotten about. They used to be in all of the grocery stores in England. They still are, it seems. And you don't see them as often in American grocery stores.
Maybe American people are taller than the UK people. I thought those stools that was in the shops, I thought it was just only for staff. Like doing the stocking. Are they for like customers if they're too small to reach?
Perhaps it's because the shelves are slightly higher up. So the shelf stackers who use those stools in Britain, they need something a bit taller. So usually what you see in grocery stores here are things like ladders to help them get to those higher spaces.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the aisles are taller in America. Everything's bigger. You need ladders for the top shelves, not stools.
As you can see, I'm a tall person. I can only just about touch that. And on the subject of size, it won't surprise anyone to learn that American supermarkets are generally bigger than their UK counterparts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I found this to be especially true at Walmart, whose retail spaces are so big, they're not even supermarkets, but hypermarkets. A hypermarket combines a supermarket with a department store, basically a one-stop shop for everything.
Oh, yeah, people was telling me that in my Walmart video. They were saying in the comments, you guys were saying, stop thinking of Walmart as a grocery store. It's a department store with a grocery section. Mad.
However, it might surprise some to learn that Britain has its own hypermarkets with the likes of Tesco Extra, usually found on the outskirts of town.
See, like, I've been to a Tesco Extra, and they are big, but they're nowhere near as big as Walmart's.
That said, at 70,000 square feet, even these don't stack up to those Walmart supercenters, which average about 100,000 square feet.
Mad.
I have no idea how to find crab meat. I've never done this. Do you want? We could just go to Baltimore. You won't normally find milk of this size showing up in Asda because we just don't have the fridge space for it.
Oh my, see, the biggest milk in the UK is probably, I would say, smaller than this. Maybe like this size, maybe a tiny bit wider than this, right? This layer right here. And that's the biggest. And even that's hard to fit in our fridges. Never mind these, mate. These are huge.
And that's not all. The inclusion of preservatives, as well as a different pasteurization method, means that American milk actually lasts longer than British milk.
Really?
So Americans can justify buying it by the gallon. But what?
Oh, okay, cool. See, the thing is, right, a lot of people will be saying, like, you guys are putting the bad stuff in to make it last longer. We need it. I'm so tired of getting, like, I get my food shop every week. The bread goes out of date 2 days later. The milk always goes out of date a week later, right? And, like, I'm the only one that really drinks milk, so I'm always throwing away milk. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, it's so annoying.
What is a gallon? Because both countries have different ways of defining that. A US gallon measures in at 128 fluid ounces, while a UK gallon equates to 160 fluid ounces.
Okay.
So you might think, ooh, Lawrence, you lied. British milk is bigger. Well, not really, because in the UK, milk is not typically sold by the gallon, but in pints and litres.
True.
The largest bottle on the market is the 6-pint bottle, which is a tad smaller than a US.
See, that is our biggest milk you can get.
Gallon, even if a UK pint is 1 1/4 the size of a US pint. It's all quite confusing. I think this will just about fit in our fridge. One thing you often notice in US grocery stores is the price tag. It's very inviting. It usually ends in 99.
Okay.
It makes you think, okay, it's 1 cent cheaper than say $8 if it's $7.99. And that's great. So you get the thing, you put it in your cart, and you walk up to the till thinking, all right, great.
Oh wait, he's gonna do this trippy thing where you go to the till and it's actually more than what the price is. Yeah, that would confuse me, but
we've made some good deals here until sales tax happens. In the US, sales tax is added at the point of purchase, and after 17 years living in the country, I no longer bat an eyelid at this. But having arrived here from a country where value-added tax is included in the price tag, it did briefly make me reconsider buying a ukulele when I barely had enough money to justify it in the first place.
That is trippy, though. See, I would say, why don't you guys just include it in the price? Because it would just make things simpler. But the shops and the companies probably think it's better making it look smaller, the amount, because you're more likely to buy it. So I highly doubt you'll ever change it. In fact, I can see the UK actually doing what America does and putting it, you know, below. And we'll probably kick up too much of a fuss.
What's this? Refrigerated eggs. This is not something you would see in a British store where the eggs are usually placed just on a shelf somewhere away from refrigeration. And why is that? It all comes down to both countries' attempts at preventing contamination. In the United States, the USDA mandates that eggs must be washed and sanitized before they reach the consumer. Basically, this is to ensure that it's not covered in chicken. The European Union, on the other hand, says that Class A eggs must not be washed, which sounds mental, right?
Ooh,
except the EU believes that washing eggs can do more harm than good. And there's a couple of reasons for this.
Hey, so who's right and who's wrong then? Because America's doing it the one way and we're doing it the other way. Someone's got to be wrong. Maybe both right, but maybe both ways are good. I don't know.
When a hen lays an egg, she coats it in a cuticle in order to protect the egg against contamination once it pops out. Anyway, it's thought that washing eggs can result in the removal of this cuticle, making eggs vulnerable to pathogenic contamination. In America, the USDA requires producers to wash eggs in water with a minimum temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They are then rinsed with a special cleaning spray with the intention of eradicating contamination and then dried. Not drying the eggs would mean that the resulting moisture could become a breeding ground for salmonella. Additionally, using cold or dirty water in the cleaning process would cause bacteria to seep in, and there'd be no extra lives for that egg. So what's this?
Wait, so in the UK, where we touch eggs, nothing's happened since it came out the chicken's bum? So the chicken's laid an egg and I'm touching that egg in its raw state? I once got some chicken poop on.
This got to do with refrigeration. Well, firstly, the USDA freely admits that washing the egg can remove the cuticles, so chilling the eggs in store becomes more critical. In Britain and the EU, not so much. One thing that's often mentioned about US grocery stores is that the cashiers, when you get to the till, are usually standing up. A lot has been made of how this is not great for, you know, your physical well-being and all of that. We're not used to this in Britain, where they are...
Yeah, most people, when you're getting served at, you know, our grocery stores, they will be sitting down.
Are sitting on a stool. And as somebody who has just rubbish knees, I can completely empathize.
Wait, but in America, like, this is for anyone that works in a grocery store, can you sit down if you say to, like, your manager, like, oh, my legs are hurting, can I just pull up a chair? Or would they be like, nah, you're fired? Are you forced to stand up? Like, what if you're tired?
On the other hand, arguments in favour of this, usually by those that own the stores, seem to be that standing up looks more professional and that it gives the cashier more range of movement, which, as I'm demonstrating here, is obviously true And I take back everything I said in the previous scene. But let me know in the comments what you think. Should cashiers be able to sit like they do in Europe? Or should they stand?
See, I feel like, you know, they can stand, but if they, like, what if their legs are really, really hurting? You know what I mean? Because they will be standing for what, like 6, 7, 8 hours? I know they got the breaks and that, but... yeah.
True patriots. Of course, increasingly, both countries are adopting self-checkouts, and Chicago's Jewel Osco is no exception. I'm well practiced in this, and in fact, self-checkouts are, I think, amazing, because you don't have to talk to anybody unless you're buying alcohol, but I quit alcohol, and that was one of the reasons, being social. What's going on with that? Did that no eggs? What? I used to be good at it. Yeah, that did it. We did it.
He's got
it. That's good.
See, we do have self-checkouts.
Old Bay seasoning.
A lot of them.
How many store-provided bags did you use today?
0. And of course, with Britain and America being two nations divided by a common language, you can't really talk about grocery stores without talking about some of the terminological differences. A big one, of course,
trolley
as I mentioned earlier, is trolley versus shopping cart. And of course, when you come to pay,
till,
in Britain,
cash,
you go to the till. In America, it's the cash register. And one that stood out to me recently as people that don't usually go in-store, but in fact go to the curbside pickup lanes in Britain, which I'm surprised to say does have curbside pickup. It's just...
yeah, we do have them, but they're not very common. And not every grocery store will do it.
There, it's called Click and Collect. If you liked this video, be sure to watch 8 American habits that confuse me as a Brit. Until the next video, goodbye.
Interesting though. I feel like with the click and collect, I feel like people in the UK, they'll rather just do like delivery. Like what I do. I just order mine and it just comes to my house, which is so much easier. Other than you can't really pick out your date. So I do tend to, you know, find a lot of things going out of date really quick. But, you know, it is what it is. But interesting seeing the differences about America and the British grocery stores. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed, just leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. Live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.